A young man awakes in a new world, fully clothed in armor. He recognizes the armor to be the same avatar as the game he plays. He even remembers falling asleep while playing the game the night before, but is surprised as to how real the whole thing feels. He tries out some of the skills he remembers having in the game, and they all work better than expected. He's taken over with excitement, but is stumped when he recalls he'd chosen the skeleton avatar. Hunger drives him to find the nearest town, and while he lurks in the back alley, he comes across an elf. He tries to get himself a mercenary pass at the guild, but the attendant doubts him, saying he looks like a knight with good employment. He makes his case, and the attendant instructs him to hunt down either beasts, monsters, or bandits to get his pass. His name is Ark. Ark hunts down 2 wild boars and an orc, but on his way back, sees some bandits trying to take advantage of a lady and her maid. He swoops in and saves the day with just 2 slashes of his sword. Lauren and her maid offer their thanks to Ark. He loots all of the bandit stuff and then escorts both ladies home. He delivers the evidence to the guild, and his card gets issued. Ark finally gets the opportunity to eat to his heart's content. Mark's first job is protecting Marka, a young girl, on her trip to pick medicinal herbs for her mother. On their journey, they find a wounded kitsune. Ark uses his sealing spell to take care of its wound. The tailed creature takes a liking to him, and Ark names it Panta. Marka is attacked by the same creature that had hurt Panta, but not before Ark can save her. It goes after him, but he evades it with his dimension move. Ark finishes the basilisk off with a super skill called Judgment. After its death, he notices a red band on the creature's leg dissipate, and so returns to the village. Ark brings alongside Panta and Marka a wild boar for the villagers to share amongst themselves, keeping the basilisk incident under wraps. The king's men had battled the basilisk and lost 15 men with 38 injured. They are surprised when they come upon the one Ark had killed all by himself, thinking he might even be a god. Ark slaughters another camp of bandits and takes their gold for himself, while the elf from before quietly tails him. Word gets to Lord Triton du Diento that his attempts to kill Princess Lauren and even the release of basilisks into Luvierte both proved futile. The elf shows herself in a bid to attack Ark. She mistakes him for a bandit and asks for the elves previously imprisoned in the cave he'd attacked. They make peace when she sees Ponta, a spirit creature with the ability to detect human malice, with him. Ark sees some elf hunters, but before he can do anything about them, the same elf emanates and takes them out one after another. Ark frees the slaves from the Mana Eater collars. She finally introduces herself as Ariane Maple and hires Ark. Ark uses Gate skill to transport himself and Ariane close to Diento to help save other elves. She introduces him to Danka, and they sit to talk. Danka doesn't trust Ark, but takes Ariane's word for it. As planned, they meet in the entertainment district late at night, sneaking into the hunter's hideout via the window on the roof. When they get in, they meet the hunters already slain and split up to find the culprit. Ark runs into her, the furry-eared ninja responsible for the deaths. The ninja gives Ark important information to help push their case forward and disappears out the window. They release the elves into Danka's care, and Ark and Ariane head to the palace to continue the mission. Lord Triton is about having his way with 2 elves when Ark and Ariane burst into his chambers. Ariane takes him down and releases both girls to Danka before she and Ark loot the palace. Ark shows Ariane his face, and she feels she can help break his curse when they reach her village. The royal family of Rodin Kingdom gather to discuss Lord Triton's misdemeanor with the elves and agree that Princess Yuriarna will head to Limble to make arrangement for a meeting with the elves. The princess suspects her brother, the Kares, to be part of the elf traders, but only opens up to her maid about it. Ark and Ariane arrive at Lalatoya elf settlement. Ark is welcomed into Lalatoya by Ariane's parents, and he fills them in on the issues at hand before dinner. Ariane and her father go to the general meeting of elves, while her mother and Ark go on a tour of Lalatoya. She spars with Ark and beats him every time. Ariane runs into her sister, Even, on her way back from the meeting. Turns out she's getting married the next week. It's sunset, and Ark isn't able to win even one fight against Lady Glennis. Ariane's father hires Ark to continue freeing the elves, and in exchange, he tells him of a spring that can break the curse on him. In his spare time, Ark uses the Uncurse skill for just his hand, and flesh emanates on it. The effects of Uncursed turn out to be temporary. Ark and Ariane cut through the woods as a shortcut to Olav. They battle haunted wolves who confuse them with multiple illusions. Ark notices the same red band he'd seen on the basilisk and cuts it off the haunted wolf's leg. The creature realizes itself and calls off its pack. Lady Uriarna and her maid set out for Limbold, but are attacked along the way, and both ladies get stabbed near to death. Ponta leads Ark to the scene. With the help of the haunted wolves, Ark does away with the culprits. He uses regeneration to revive the princess and others. She awakes and addresses her soldiers to continue the mission to Limbold. Ark returns and they complete their journey to Olav. They meet the furry-eared ninja there. Shiyome introduces herself to Ark and Ariane. They get talking about ninjutsu. Shiyome requests Ark's help in freeing her people. Prince Ikaris gets word of the failed mission and skips town to escape Ark's wrath. Ark, Shiyome, and Ariane arrive at Edzat Market, the biggest slave market in the capital. They meet up later that night for the rescue. Gomon joins the team. He and Ark create a loud enough distraction at the city gates to let Shiyome and Ariane get in through the back fence. Shiyome and Ariane infiltrate the slave market and defeat the soldiers along the way, just to meet Ark by the gate. They lead him back to where the slaves gathered, and Ark transports them to safety. Carrion kills Prince Ikaris by order of his brother Sect. Their sister Uriarna finally makes it to Limbold to her elder sister's embrace. She's informed that her attack was Ikaris' doing, and also of his death. This only strengthens her resolve to meet with the elves. Ark and Ariane head to the Holy Revlon Empire. They encounter a herd of wyverns, but Ark disperses them with lightning magic. Karsi, an elf living amongst humans, hires Ark in exchange for a map of the Revlon Empire and his monster's guidebook. Ariane gets drunk when they lodge for the night and gets free of her restraint. Both parties join Karsi for the mission a little late, and he makes a reference to the night before. They're attacked by a 30-meter longworm beast, but Ark combats it with brute strength, saving the lives of everyone. Ark claims his reward after delivering the worm into Karsi's care. Fumba nurses an extraordinary beast in the shadows for Emperor Domitianus. Ark and Ariane arrive at the Holy Revlon Empire in a town called Kasek in a bid to free the kidnapped elves. They split up to gather information and reconvene at nightfall. They sneak into Fumba's hideout through a secret passageway. They find him in an underground dungeon, but he uses some kind of magic to turn Ariane against Ark. He notices Fumba used an imp and he burns it to a crisp, releasing Ariane. Ark realizes that Fumba has been the one behind all the monster attacks he'd been facing the whole time. Fumba sends a tiger beast after Ark. He beheads it with his first strike. Fumba cannot back down. He summons a host of monsters and sends them toward Ark. The mercenary cuts them down one by one. Shiyome intervenes and helps Ark drown the last of the monsters. It turns out Fumba still has a trump card. He summons the monster in the shadows, a 5-headed hydra with water magic. The monster deals Ark and everyone with him a big blow, but he uses a shield to guard them. The hydra heads toward town to continue its outrage. Fumba doesn't know they survived, and so they plan an ambush around that. Ark goes after the hydra while Shiyome and Ariane trail Fumba. Ark cut off its heads, but it regenerates them almost immediately. He then summons the infernal demon, Ifrit, and sets it against the hydra. Ariane and Shiyome find Fumba. They duel it out before Shiyome slashes the curse markings on his back. He loses control of the monsters because of this. Ariane summons flames from her sword and burns Fumba to ash. Ifrit does the same and burns the hydra to nothingness. And so, peace fell upon the empire. Princess Uriarna manages to sign a new treaty with Lord Fengus of the Elves, for a world where elves and humans can coexist. By the time Lord Sect finds out about Uriarna's survival, it's too late to stop the treaty. Thanks for joining us on our anime journey. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, bye, and thanks for watching. See you next time.